This should be an outright, in my opinion, criminal investigation.
Hey, how you doing, family? Just came to bring you some valuable financial information that you may find interesting. So check it out. But before you do that, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. My page is Universally Universe. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And also, while you at it, check my links below for free stock. Yes, I said free.
This should be an outright, in my opinion, criminal investigation.
The one and only Lou Dobbs. You know, I think Janine and your monologues scare me more than my own monologues. I don't know. Good to see you, Lou.
Great to see you, Sean.
All right. Can we break this down? Hedge funds, shorting stocks, it's part of a process. Little guys banding together. Now looks like, then they stop. People can't cash out at this point. Things got ugly today.
The word rigged, we heard it a lot under the previous president, didn't we? This is a rigged event, and that is Robinhood, which has all sorts of great, positive, wonderful connotations. Its CEO today deciding to disrupt the market, and particularly to the disadvantage of those who were buying stock in a company that big money had said could only decline. But this is a complicated story, more complicated than it's being presented, because there are a lot of hedge funds on the other side of these trades standing with those folks who started this acquisition effort, buying up the stock as the shorts, primarily from the hedge funds, moved in. But there are also those hedge funds on the long side of this, Sean, so it gets complicated. The actions taken by Robinhood and several other internet brokerages today to change the rules of Wall Street right in the middle of this event probably means that Robinhood will very likely have, it could in fact lose, the current owners could lose control of that company. The SEC has an absolute responsibility to move in and to stop this nonsense. And I want to say that 2 class action lawsuits have been filed against Robinhood for what they have done here over the course of the past 12 hours. And it's good to see. What is not good to see is in a presumably active Biden administration here, with the likes, all sorts of market regulator inclined advocates in the administration. They've done nothing. The SEC hasn't stepped in. FINRA hasn't stepped in. All of the exchanges are mute. This is an outrage, and it's an outrage that's got to be fixed. And this isn't the stuff for a commission of some sort. This should be an outright, in my opinion, criminal investigation.
So, some deep information coming out, and normally I don't even deal with Fox News, but on finances and stuff like that, they brought up some good information tonight, and I got to check it out. But it's some deep information, and my concern is not for me. My concern is for the other small man, the other person that may not speak up collectively. My concern is the impartiality, picking and choosing who you want to put on this level and who you want to put on that level. And that's what I hope the platforms are not doing. Robinhood wasn't the only app platform that did this. There was at least 4 other platforms that did this today, that took away the inability for people to trade, to buy a stock. They will let you sell. Why? They will let you sell because they gain money on sales. Not much at all. Like 2 cents per transaction. But yet and still, if you multiply that by millions of users, the money adds up from day to day. So all in all, like I said, my concern is the impartiality, the bullying Picking this person or that person, that's what I really don't like. I don't like stuff like that. If I go onto my app and you supposed to be supplying me with a free and open platform where I can get in there and do what you said, that which I can do, then I should be able to get in there and do that which you said I can do. And if I can't, then there's something wrong with that. All right? Y'all need to figure it out on y'all end and never let that happen again. Because if it does, you already seen what happened. You got the government getting involved. The government getting involved with regulations and so on and so forth. You got senators. You got congressmen and women, senators getting involved. You got the government about to do an investigation on what happened. So Robinhood, the administration, the powers that be, the CEO and the powers that be, I think y'all made a bad decision by doing that. I think y'all should have figured it out. If it was truly something y'all need to figure out, y'all should have figured it out with y'all finances, borrowed against whatever y'all need to borrow against, and figured it out. But all of a sudden, when a small man is trying to rise up, when a small woman is trying to rise up, all of a sudden you want to stop them and give big, which I feel, give big corporations time to reevaluate their assets and move things around while you hold up the small man from buying. So that's what I feel happened, and I don't like that, because that shows, once again, favoritism. That shows picking and choosing this person over that person. I feel that it was big time people in big time places that grabbed these organizations, not just Robinhood who did this, by their collar, grabbed them, and they got big pockets, and pulled them here and said, listen here, figure this out. They messing up our money. Figure it out. Stop them. Let us do what we got to do. Rewire, regulate, or move things around however we got to do it, but figure it out. That's what I feel happened. Now, of course, the CEOs and stuff like that ain't going to come out and put this information out like that. Nah, they ain't going to do that. They're going to give you smooth words like a politician. Give you something smooth in your ear, something smooth to hear. But that's what I feel that happened. And like I said, when I speak up, bring out information, I'm bringing it out for the common man, the person that's on my level, that's just starting off, the person that's small time, the person who, you know, is at the bottom of the barrel trying to make their way up. You know, understand? So that's who I'm speaking up for. So legal action. They may be in threat of legal action. So I think it was a bad decision. Now you got legal logistics and governmental officials all in your business, which I know y'all don't want, these platforms, trading platforms. But now y'all gonna have that, because y'all tried to strong arm, I feel, y'all tried to strong arm the little man, the small woman, and tried to tell us something that was against your policy. And if it was against your policy, that we should be able to get in there and buy and trade stocks for whatever reason, and you switched it up and strong armed us, then, you know, like I said, now you got politicians and governmental officials in your business, and I know y'all didn't want that. Nobody wants that. But that's what y'all gonna have now, and they may face legal action, and they may have to move around some things inside of their organization. No telling what the government officials can and cannot do when it comes to these corporations, when they are strong arming individuals for whatever reason on their trading platforms. So now that's what may happen. So be on the lookout for that information and news of that coming. And what else I got here? So, like I said, again, just to go over it, they do make money, very small. They do make money at a free platform, but they do make money when you sell your stocks. And I noticed that. They don't put it out, they put it in very fine print, but it's very minuscule, something like 2 cents per transaction. So, they said what? You cannot buy, you can sell. So, they can still get money on those sales, but they're not making any money on those buys. When you sell, that's when they're making some money. But obviously they probably take our money like banks do and loan our money out and stuff like that to make money on the back end. So once again, Robinhood, I think y'all slipped up, and y'all shouldn't have did that. And the other corporations, hedge funds, and so on and so forth that did what they did, and now you got the government all in your business. So I think it was a bad decision. All right. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. Hit the like button, notification if you choose to, and if you do need a platform, check the information below, and you can find a platform to buy and sell and trade stocks. And with that, peace and love. Bringing out which I think is some heavy information. All right, peace out.
More reaction. Fox News contributor Dan Bongino's with us. You know, if anybody I want to hear the commentary side of this, it's from you, Dan, because you've just been stomped on. You know, you're partners with a bunch of guys. And by the way, you know, when you start Parler, a competitor to Twitter, odds are not exactly with you in the beginning. But you pick up steam, and then the big tech companies come in, boom, they squash you, shut you down, eliminate any competition. I happen to pull for the little guy. I kind of like that they stood up to the Wall Street guys and were winning. Little complicated in some aspects, but I'm dying to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, you know, it can be complicated, but it's really not. I mean, essentially, this is what happened. You had a bunch of big Wall Street guys that shorted a stock. They bet it was going to go down. So they borrowed it. They didn't have to buy the stock. They borrowed it on the cheap. They then sold the stock, right? They sold the stock, and say the stock was $20. So they sold it for $20, assuming it would go down. So being that they borrowed the stock, they figured then if it was going to go down, they could buy it back on the cheap to return it and pocket the difference. Well, Sean, what happens when the stock doesn't go down and continues to go up and up and up? You still got to buy back the stock you borrowed and pay it back. GameStop went from what, 20 to over 300? Think about how much money was lost. Now, I heard a commentator on the network say earlier today, well, I like a lot, but I disagree with him totally. He said, you know, this isn't an us and them story. There's, you know, a value to hedge funds. Listen, there is a value to put and call options. There's a knowledge component. Shorting is not always the worst thing in the world if a company's really doing bad. If a bunch of people short it, that means the company's probably in trouble, if it's not rigged. The problem with this is, when a bunch of Wall Street guys started to lose money and a bunch of regular, just retail investor, Joe average Americans like you and I all of a sudden bought the stock, then all of a sudden the SEC's involved. We're hearing federal law enforcement's investigating. Investigating what?
There's natural resentment because a lot of companies that are being shorted by the hedge funds, they get financially hurt as these guys bet on their decline, and it hurts their business. Then on another aspect of this is they're not just buying 100% of the stock, which they would borrow, as you rightly point out, but they're literally buying phantom 140% of shares. In other words, there's only 100, but they're shorting 140.
Yeah.
Well, that would be based predicated on an entire lie, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the scam, right? Is that if you don't have to buy the stock, and it's really just a casino bet for you, and here's where it gets even uglier. And then you have a platform and a social media platform, say you're one of these big hedge fund guys, and then you get to go on TV and use your social media vehicle to then trash mouth the stock, then how is that not a rigged game? That's what I love about how the Redditors got back at these guys. They went on Reddit, used their own platform, and said, you know what? We're just going to keep buying and we're going to hold forever. And by the way, it is rigged. These big guys have been protected forever. Government bailouts, donating to the Democrat Party. It's totally big.
So real quick, I was searching the internet for other platforms because I knew there was like 3 other platforms that had limit trades. And so I came across an article titled, Trading Platforms Are Limiting Trades of GameStop and Other Companies, a New York Times article. There was a deep quote in this article. I want this to sit with you. I want this to resonate with you. Listen to this. William F. Galvin, the Massachusetts Secretary of Commonwealth, applauded TD Ameritrade's decision to restrict trading and said he believed the New York Stock Exchange should go even further and pause trading on GameStop for 30 days. Now, let that sit with you. Let that resonate with you for a second. That's why I said I had to bring this out, because that was a deep quote. To me, what that says is, we don't care about the common man. We bail out Wall Street, billions of dollars, but if the common man step up and he's getting a few dollars and putting the rich at risk of their own, then we need to shut everything down. Let's shut it down for 30 days. Let that sit with you. That's how some people feel. That's deep. On the flip side, before I go to the flip side, the two companies, if I didn't mention it, were TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab. Two other companies that restricted trading, so you'll know. And then I know there's more out there, but I just don't have them at my fingertips at this moment. On the flip side, Senator Warren was quoted in this article. A Democrat of Massachusetts also called the Secretary of Exchange Commissions to more tightly regulate the stock market. What did she say? She said, for years, the same hedge funds, private equity firms, and wealthy investors dismayed by the GameStop trades have treated the stock market like their own personal casino, while everyone else pays the price. She said in a statement, it is long time for the SEC and other financial regulators to wake up and do their jobs. Now, you see the drastic difference in that quote from the lady who's in United States government via the guy from Massachusetts. Some people are going to feel this way, some people are going to feel that way, but those are two deep quotes. One from William F. Galvin. That's how they really feel about us. So let that resonate.
Come on. 'Cause you was living for the one,